In the world of international politics, where economic sanctions are wielded as weapons, some nations have developed ingenious strategies to dodge the blows. Today, we dive into the strategies of two such nations, Russia and Iran. Despite facing numerous sanctions, both countries have managed to sustain their economies, and not just by a stroke of luck. They've deployed a mix of innovation, tact, and resilience to circumvent the constraints, creating alternative avenues to keep their economic gears turning. Take Iran, for instance. This Middle Eastern nation has turned to a time-tested business strategy, rebranding. By rebranding its oil and using trading hubs like the United Arab Emirates, Iran has continued to export its oil, creating a lifeline for its economy. It's like a game of hide-and-seek, with Iran constantly changing the names and ownership of its vessels to slip under the radar. On the other hand, we have Russia. This vast nation has used geography to its advantage, establishing trade routes with Central Asian countries. By bypassing traditional Western trade routes, Russia has managed to dodge some of the impacts of the embargoes. It's an impressive feat of geopolitical maneuvering, turning a potential disadvantage into an opportunity. But what does all of this mean? Well, these tactics, while effective, underscore the challenges of implementing and enforcing economic sanctions. It's a cat-and-mouse game on a global scale. The strategies of Russia and Iran have shown that sanctions, while a powerful tool, are not infallible, and that the global economy is a complex, interconnected web where actions in one part can have unexpected consequences in another. Western nations are not standing idly by as Russia and Iran sidestep sanctions. The global powers have long been imposing sanctions on these countries, aiming to pressure them into altering their political behaviors. Sanctions, as a form of economic warfare, are designed to cripple the economic infrastructure of the target nations, thus forcing a change in their actions. Yet, the effectiveness of these measures is often called into question due to numerous loopholes and the lack of universal enforcement. The system is not infallible. Some countries find ways to bypass these sanctions, exploiting the cracks in an otherwise formidable wall of economic pressure. Russia and Iran, for instance, have managed to sustain their economies and evade the full impact of sanctions through various strategies. However, the West is not backing down. Efforts are underway to bolster the enforcement of these sanctions. For instance, the targeting of Chinese banks that facilitate transactions for sanctioned entities is one of the strategies being employed. By placing pressure on these financial institutions, the West hopes to cut off a critical lifeline for those attempting to dodge the sanctions. Another effort to fortify the enforcement of sanctions is the appointment of a sanctions envoy in the European Union. This role is designed to oversee the implementation of sanctions and ensure that all member states are adhering to their obligations. It's a move that signals the West's commitment to tightening the grip on nations that refuse to comply with international norms. Yet, as the West ramps up its efforts, the effectiveness of these strategies remains to be seen. The ability of Russia and Iran to circumvent sanctions, despite the existing measures, underscores the challenges in implementing and enforcing these restrictions. It's a high-stakes game of cat and mouse, with global politics and economies hanging in the balance. The West is tightening the noose, but the question remains, will it be enough? As we delve deeper into this complex issue, we'll explore the implications of these strategies and what the future might hold in the world of international sanctions and enforcement. The ability of Russia and Iran to dodge sanctions is not just a game of international hide-and-seek. It has profound implications for the future of international relations and economics. This scenario unveils a fundamental shift in global power dynamics. Russia and Iran's successful evasion of sanctions reveals the growing limitations of traditional economic warfare. It's akin to a chess game where the rules are being rewritten in real time, and it's the entire world that stands to lose or gain. Let's delve into the implications. Firstly, if Russia and Iran can evade sanctions, other nations might follow suit. This could lead to a domino effect, where countries under sanction begin to develop and share strategies to circumvent these punitive measures. This, in turn, could undermine the effectiveness of sanctions as a tool for enforcing international law. Secondly, consider the impact on the global economy. The sanctioned nations are not operating in isolation, they are part of a complex network of international trade routes. This means that their actions can have a ripple effect, impacting economies worldwide. If sanctions become less effective, the global economy could face instability as nations scramble to adapt to this unpredictable landscape. Now let's ponder over the potential for increased tension. If sanctions lose their bite, sanction-imposing nations may resort to more drastic measures to exert pressure. This could escalate tensions, potentially leading to conflicts that extend beyond the economic realm. Looking ahead, the international community faces a critical question: how to enforce sanctions in a world where traditional methods are becoming less effective. This may require innovative solutions, like more robust international cooperation, stronger enforcement mechanisms, and even rethinking the very concept of sanctions. The world is watching this high-stakes game of economic chess unfold. As the players move their pieces, the board is constantly changing, and the outcome is far from certain. As the world watches this high-stakes game unfold, only time will tell who will be the ultimate winner. In this global chess game of sanctions and evasion, the moves and countermoves continue. We've seen how Russia and Iran employ unique strategies to circumvent Western sanctions, and how, despite the West's attempts to enforce these sanctions, their impact is often softened by loopholes and the lack of universal enforcement. The complexity of the situation underscores its importance and ongoing nature. As we move forward, it will be intriguing to see how this geopolitical puzzle unfolds. Stay informed and stay engaged. Remember to hit the subscribe button to keep up with the latest developments in this evolving story. Thanks for watching.